Hi, I'm Amanda Galloway with Country Financial and Magnetic Mindset Coaching. Today, I'm honored to introduce someone who has been a driving force of clarity and growth for so many leaders and entrepreneurs. Ashton Greer is the founder of Clarity Design Company, where she partners with small businesses, nonprofits, and entrepreneurs to navigate the ups and downs of leadership and organizational growth. Through her guidance, clients gain clarity, courage, and confidence to step fully into their potential, while she takes on the heavy lifting behind the scenes. Ashton is not only a brilliant businesswoman, but also a trusted friend and a supporter of women stepping into their power. She embodies leadership with heart, resilience, and vision. I am so proud to welcome Ashton Greer to the show.
Ashton Greer, I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you.
I have heard your story. I have heard your resume and all of that, but I want to hear the mindset behind all of that. Everybody knows your resume. If they don't, they can go to your website, which is
claritydesignco.net.
Yeah. But I want to hear the mindset behind that. I feel like you have built stability and organization and structure for absolutely every organization that you touch, honestly. So
Thank you.
I want to get right to it. So when things start to wobble in an organization, how do you handle that? And I feel like when most people panic or overcorrect, you bring a lot of calm, at least in my experience with you. So
Yeah.
I want to hear about that. Can you talk about the first thing that you pay attention to when an organization starts to lose momentum?
Yeah. So I think there can be many factors that come into play when an organization is struggling. But I think the first place you need to look is at the people. Is it the right fit? Are the right people in the right seats in the organization? And I think sometimes a person can be a great person with an incredible skill set or resume or attitude, but are they the right fit for that position and its requirements? So you really have to get down to, what do we need in this organization and who's responsible for what? And if this position is responsible for these things, is the person in that seat capable, skilled, and willing to do those things? And I think that oftentimes in organizations, it's just a matter of having the wrong people in the places that they need to be. So sometimes it's just shuffling them around. Sometimes it's an overhaul. Sometimes it's, this just isn't the right fit, maybe culturally, maybe skills or abilities.
I love that. I think that shows a lot of wisdom and discernment and even like emotional intelligence. Yeah. Going off of that, can we talk about hard lessons that have built you?
Hard lessons that have built me.
Yeah, I feel like everyone sees you as this very polished leader.
Oh man,
And
yeah.
I feel like very few have heard about the moments that have built that version of you. So
Yeah.
let's talk about like what failure has taught you.
Okay, yeah. So
What failure has taught you that success specifically could not, actually?
So I think that something people might not realize about me is that I'm actually a really sensitive and emotional person. So like underneath what people see inside of me is like a very tumultuous emotional landscape. And so in my life, I've had to learn how to not let my emotions be in the driver's seat. And I think a lot of my early failures came from that. I could tell specific stories of times that I was written up at jobs or
Really?
made major mistakes because my emotions were so intense. They just felt like the only thing that mattered. They felt so real to me. People, obviously don't see those really intimate moments of your life where you're messing up or you're failing. But I think those lessons that I've learned, I like to think of them as a free education.
Yeah.
Like they teach you more than a university degree could in your failures. If you allow them to be, they're really just these pure gold nuggets for your life and direction of how to do better next time. I have many personal and professional failures, as I think anyone does who's taken bold risks. And I've taken a lot of bold risks. I've learned a lot of things the hard way. But I think what sets me apart is that I have resilience. So I'm very, very stubborn and tenacious and determined to overcome them. And I'm really determined as well not to villainize people, because the people that taught me those hard lessons, they're not bad people. I'm thankful for them because they reflected to me areas where I needed to grow.
Yeah. It sounds like you've earned the wisdom that you have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
You also have a podcast that recently talked about this, right? The
Yeah.
failure?
Yeah. So our most recent episode, I have a podcast with my friend Amanda, and it's called The Audacity because we talk about things that
Mhm.
are pretty bold and audacious and a little crazy at times. But our most recent episode is about failure, and it's about the lessons that we learn from failure and how failure isn't a finish line. It's not this thing that happens to you and then it's all over, you're a failure. Failure is an incredible starting point. You have to reframe it. I failed at that. I made a mistake. I had to change course. It's not I ended. It's just a shift in your destination.
I feel like that says so much about who you are. Can we talk about how that affects the way that you lead people? For instance, like, I don't know, you're known, like everybody that I talk to says that you're the connector. You are known for bringing people together. Even if like they disagree, you're so good at bringing everyone to the table. Like, you are excellent at connection. In dealing with that, what do you want the culture to feel like wherever you lead?
So, on connecting, we'll start there. So, I think the reason that I have the ability to bring different people and different sides of perspectives to the table is because I can always see all the perspectives, even the people that feel like I've wronged them. I can understand their perspective in that. So
Mhm.
people don't become enemies to me very easily. It takes a lot. So I think my ability to release and forgive
Mhm.
people and to understand their humanity is what enables me to restore and repair and have longevity in relationships. So for me, in the culture of an organization, there's a few things that I think are so important. And this is just my perspective. I think everyone is looking for something different in an organization. But I think that people cannot succeed if they don't have clear expectations.
Yes.
So if a person doesn't know exactly what they're expected to do or what goals there are or expected outcomes,
Mm.
how can they possibly succeed? How can they know what to build? And so I like to create cultures of clear expectations. I also love to create a culture of autonomy for people that work with me and work for me.
Mhm.
So it's like my top value as an entrepreneur is to be able to move when and how I want to move in what is intuitive and what makes sense for my life. So I did the 9 to 5 thing for a long time. I did the clocking in, I did the clocking out, I did the you were 5 minutes late. That's going on your employee file life.
Oh
I
my
did
God.
that. And I learned from that it's really not supportive, a healthy culture,
Mhm.
because you're having people from all walks of life at your organization. And I think it's a scarcity mindset and it's a fear mindset to treat employees in that way.
Mm.
Everywhere that I go, I try to encourage autonomy in management and leadership. So I tell anyone that works for me, this is your show, this is your life. Here are your expectations. I expect you to meet your deadlines. I expect you to get your work done. I'm not going to tell you when and how you have to do it.
Mhm.
You need to be at meetings that you're requested to be at. You need to be present at events that you have to do. You need to show up and be where you need to be when you need to be there. But what you do in between, whether you're doing that from your home or from your work office, or if you're doing it while your kids are taking a nap, I don't care. What I want most for people is for them to feel like their career is a part of their whole life. Like it's wholesome. It's not this thing that is a burden. It should feel fulfilling. And
Mhm.
so I don't think you're going to have happy employees unless you can truly create that culture for them. And as millennial, I'm a millennial, this is our top value.
Mhm.
So as millennials are a majority of the workforce at this time, we have the boomers exiting. The millennials are beginning to move into higher management roles and leadership roles. I think we all value our time
Yeah. I
above
think
all
so.
else. We're busy, we're raising families, and we don't want to do it the way that our parents did it. We see that the cost was really high. We know everything that they missed. So I think the top two things for me are clear expectations and autonomy. And I also tell people that work for me, I'm going to give you a really long rope, enough to hang yourself. I really hope you don't. And I really don't want to hold you accountable. I really don't want to, but you're going to have a very long rope with me. And as long as you fulfill your expectations and you come to me with concerns and you communicate clearly and you work hard, like we're golden.
I love that. Yeah, like also in seeing like how you work with other people, I feel like you do such a good job at making people feel seen and like guided at the same time. But I loved when you said autonomy because that's one of my values too. Like if you're hiring me, then like then you clearly value what I do. Like let me go do it for you. Let me help you.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not going to hire someone who is a professional or an expert at something beyond what I know
Mm-hmm.
and then expect to tell them how and when and where to do that.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
if I hire someone to do a job, I expect that they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't manage their time or they need to be micromanaged or have that sort of clock in, clock out standard, it's not a good fit for me.
I feel like, yeah, the way that you lead has like this steady authority behind it. And I love that so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about your vision. So, you have brought stability to so many organizations. We've already said that, but I know your vision will go beyond that. So, let's talk about if you could leave like one lasting change, something that people would still feel years from now, like even specifically just in Vermilion County or beyond, like what would that look like?
So I've always felt like spiritually, there's a lot of different ways to worship or give back to the earth and to the world. And I've always felt like my form of loving humanity is to make where I live better. So it's to bring people together. I love creating shared experiences that bond people, that show them how similar we all are.
Yeah.
And I think if I could leave one lasting impact, it would be that the community that I live in is better than before I got there, that it's healthier, that it's happier, that there are more experiences and more opportunities for living a really full life for all the people that I do life with.
I feel like you've carried big responsibilities and you've also stayed extremely composed. Like, I feel like you are essentially like the eye of the storm. Like, there's complete chaos, but you are like stable, you are steady. How do you hold that frame? Like, can we talk about how you recharge or you reset? Like, how do you maintain that?
Yeah, I think, okay, let me start over. I have faced a tremendous amount of hardship
Mhm.
in my adult life. So I had a very normal childhood, a very happy childhood. So thankful to my parents for the stability that they provided to me. In my adult life, though, I had some unresolved trauma from other things, and I ended up making some life choices that I've had to recover from, that I've had to course correct.
Hmm.
I've had a lot of hardship, a lot of loss, a lot of change. All of those things have really shaped me as a person. At some point, I realized that it's really mind over matter. Like, this is hard.
Yeah.
I'm facing hard things. And then the realization that every single person who's ever existed faces hard things in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And some people turn it into purpose
Mm-hmm.
and they, take all those pieces and they make a quilt that is just this beautiful tapestry of pain and experience and joy and love and light, and they offer it to the world as their gift. And I think other people never really put the pieces together. It defeats them. Maybe they're just not spirited enough, like have a strong enough spirit to keep going despite adversarial circumstances. And the more hard things that you face in your life, if you can frame your failure as a lesson, the stronger you become and the easier it becomes to stay composed in the storm. And I remind myself all the time, like, this will pass. Everything passes. There's a season and a time for everything under the sun.
My mom always says that. She's like, this too shall pass.
Yeah, it'll pass.
Yep.
And as long as you can stay rooted and grounded and know who you are, and know your heart, know your intentions. And for me, I always have good intentions in the things that I do, even if they don't turn out how I wanted. Reminding myself and surrounding myself with people who remind me of the good intentions that I had and the goodness that I have.
Yeah, having a support system is huge. It's life-changing. Like these people believe in you, like while other people may not, but these people do, and it really keeps you going.
Yeah, we're wired biologically to need a tribe, a
Mhm.
community. And when you don't have that, you feel isolated and you feel afraid and you feel vulnerable and exposed. And so one thing I'm so thankful for is in my life in Danville, I just have a really strong group of people that no matter what's going on in the outside storm, the weather through the windows that I can see the swirling storms or whatever, there's just so many people that are helping me stay grounded in that.
I love that so much. I feel like a lot of people need to hear that. Turn that pain into wisdom. you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you allow it to, the pain, it just makes you more compassionate.
It does.
It can make you bitter or it can make you better.
Mm.
And for me, when I start to feel bitter
Mm-hmm.
or like victim mindset, like, oh, how could this happen to me? And oh, life is so miserable.
Mm-hmm.
I like to turn it around and think about what amazing things do I have going for me? What joys do I have in my life? I like to reflect on my family, my friendships, my success, my security, my home.
Yeah.
You know, I have a roof over my head. I have food. I have income. I have friends. I have family. I have life-giving relationships. I have lessons learned, and I have a soft heart still,
You do.
even through all the things that I faced.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say that the more that you go through hard things, you lose your empathy. You don't lose compassion, but like, what do you think about that? Like, I've noticed personally for me, after going through like several things that I'm just like, oh my word, this was so hard. I have noticed that when people approach me they're going through something hard, that I'm like, you're gonna be okay. Like, you're gonna get through this, and the pain isn't gonna last. Like, I'm not empathetic. Like, I'm not gonna like sit with them in their pain, but I have compassion for it. Like, what do you think the difference between those two is?
I think that as people go through life, we start to build fortresses around ourselves, especially if you're an empath. The only way to really navigate the world is to learn how to create some barrier because you just feel pain everywhere that you go. So you kind of brick by brick build this fortress.
Yeah.
And I think the mistake is that if you never put it down, you kind of become one with it.
Yeah.
It becomes your personality. It becomes who you are. And so then you're no longer able to come to the other side of that fortress and sit with someone in their pain.
Yeah.
Because you're solidified to it. It's kind of like, imagine something's on the ground for a long time. Eventually the vines grow over it and it just kind of becomes one with the earth.
It is.
I kind of think that's how people are with their fortresses that they build to protect themselves from pain. And it takes conscious effort.
Yeah.
Once you've built it, to recognize that your fortress is in the way. So I tend to, if I'm struggling to have empathy for somebody in a situation, I tend to kind of go internal and say, I need to, like, this is okay. I need to take down my fortress, or I need to step to the other side.
Yeah.
So I can really be with this person that needs me.
Last question. What truth about success do you hold that most people would disagree with?
I don't think success is in items, and I don't think it's in money. I don't think success is one size fits all. I think success is how you define it. It's kind of like what I said before about clear expectations for a job. Everyone has different expectations for their life and what success looks like. So for me, success looks like freedom. It looks like time with my family, stability, and meaning. Success is meaningful. So I think I'm literally incapable of doing work that I don't care about.
It's like fulfillment. Yeah.
I'm at this point in my life, I'm incapable of it. Like, I have to truly care about it to be effective. If I don't care about it, I'll fail. It has to come from my heart.
Yeah.
So I think success is about, did you do something that mattered in the world with your life?
I love that so much. And I agree 100%. If I don't care, I'm probably not going to do a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta care.
I gotta care. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think 3 things about you. I think that you have built systems that move. I think that you have built cultures that last, just from the data that I have. And I think that you have earned this wisdom in the best way, with grit, experience, and integrity. So thank you so much for letting us see the heart that drives this discipline.
Thank you, Alicia.